If you can't take a break, if you can't take a sabbatical, if you can't take a gap year, but you need one, but you can't do any of those things, here are 5 things you can do. My name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X big sister, and I am talking to you. I'm talking to you if you are tired, you're done, you're burnt, you're over it, you're grinding, just going through the paces every single day, and you're exhausted, you're over it. But you can't leave your job, you can't give up your responsibilities. There's people that you're caring for. You're not in a situation where you can make massive change in your life right now. I hear you, I see you, and I understand. There are things you can do. And before we even talk about the 5 things you can do, before you can even get to that, you have to decide. You have to decide that you're going to do something. You have to decide that you want to. You have to decide that you're willing to look at all of this differently. You have to decide that you are not ready to give up hope. You have to decide that you are willing to consider options and to possibly try something that you haven't tried yet. So the mental and emotional decision needs to come first. So start with that. And then in terms of the 5 things that you can do, number 1 is shrink the timeline. What I mean by that is instead of thinking, because I've been getting messages from you saying things like, I'm, 48, or I'm 53, or I'm 58, or I'm 61, or whatever your age is. And you're saying, I need to work for at least 10 more years, or I need to work for at least 15 more years. And I'm not even sure that that's going to be enough. Well, I got to tell you right now that thinking about that big number, thinking about all of those years is weighing you down. And it feels massive. It feels like a bigger hurdle than it needs to be. It feels like a huge uphill battle, and it feels like a really long time, even though, it doesn't feel as long of a time now. Looking back, 5 years, 10 years seems to go, the older we get, the faster it goes, but that's beside the point. Instead of framing, oh God, I got to do this. I got to do this for another 10 years. I can't leave this job for 15 more years or 5 more years or whatever it is. Ask yourself, what do I need for the next 30 days? What do I need for the next 90 days? What changes can I make in my outlook, in my actions, in my behavior right here, right now, in this 30, 60, 90-day window to impact my nervous system now, to impact my emotional well-being, my energy, my health? What can I do right now? And how can I make this next 30, 60, 90 days as joy-filled as possible? What can I do to improve my situation for this short term as I possibly can? So that's action number 1, is to shrink the time of how you're viewing the time ahead and how much more work you have to do. Shrink it down. Number 2, I've been talking about this, but I'm not seeing or hearing about a lot of action around it. Reduce one obligation. Reduce one. I'm not saying get rid of everything. I'm not saying get rid of the biggest one. I'm saying reduce one. You might not be able to quit your job. You might not be able to let go of your mortgage. You might not be able to stop taking care of your aging parent. You might not be able to stop taking care of your adult child, but what is one thing that you can do? Is there a committee that you don't need to serve on? Do you need to go to every event? Do you need to take care of every need that your child has or that your partner has? Can you let go of cooking dinner 5 nights a week? Can you let go of being the one that's cleaning the kitchen every night? Can you let go of, I don't know. You have to look at what's on your plate. Like what is on your plate? What are your obligations and your responsibilities and your duties? Let go of one. Let go. Either get somebody else to do it or let it not get done. Try it out and see try it on for size, see how it feels. And if it feels uncomfortable, I want you to sit in that and wonder and ask and get curious. Why is this so uncomfortable? Uh, it's really something to like put a mirror up against. Is this something that really needs to get done? And does it really need to be done by me? Am I really the only competent one who could possibly do this thing? So reduce one obligation, just one. Tell me in the comments which one you're going to let go of. And then maybe come back afterwards and let me know how it goes. Number 3, similar to number 2, reclaim 30 minutes in your day that belong to only you. Now, this is simplest for those like myself. If you don't have a partner that you live with, if you don't have children, especially if you don't, or children living in your home, it's a little bit simpler, but it's difficult for us in a different way. So for my sisters out there who have that partner, that the kids and other people, parents, other people sort of leaning on you for things, I want you to specifically find 30 minutes in the day for you to do something that you want to do just for you. It's all about you and nobody else. And for that 30 minutes, that me time, there's no guilt. There's no guilt. You are pouring back into yourself so you can continue to be the fabulous woman that you always are. For those of us who are solo, it's difficult. I want you to give yourself 30 minutes of grace, of not feeling guilty that you're not being productive. Do whatever you want for that 30 minutes. If you want to scroll social media, go ahead and scroll social media. If you want to just lay on your couch and stare at the ceiling, lay on your couch and stare at the ceiling. It doesn't really matter what it is. The only rule is that for that 30 minutes, there's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no expectation about what you need to be getting done during that 30 minutes. So that's action number 3. Number 4, I want you to reevaluate your circle. This came up in a conversation I had with a friend of mine recently, where it became evident that she was getting pulled down by the people around her repeatedly. And just as she would scramble and get herself up, get her nervous system in a solid place, getting her mood and her outlook in a healthier place, the people that she was sharing space with were bringing her back down. They were imposing their own stresses and fears on her. And so it was a constant, like, she'd be climbing up, she'd get knocked back down, climbing up, knocked back down. Reevaluate your circle of who you're spending time with. Reevaluate, are they a faucet or a drain? Are they pouring into you and you feel good and uplifted and supported and lighter in their presence? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel less than? Do you feel not enough? Do you feel guilt? Do you feel shame? Do they make you feel tired? And don't feel guilty about assessing this, because that the person who's draining you may be a wonderful person. I just had a really excellent conversation on our roundtable session on the Blueprint Breakers podcast. We were talking about friendship, and one of the women on the panel, Trilby Johnson, she was talking about how she realized she had friends that she needed to let go of because they were relying on her to be their therapist, and it was a drain. And she decided that she wanted to spend time with people who filled up her energy got better and lighter, and she felt happier in their presence, and by the time that she was leaving was better than when she you know met up with them. And I totally agree with that, and I understand. And that person could be the most sweet person, but they may be needy to a point that you can't give them what they need at this point. You might not have enough in your cup to be constantly pouring out into their cup. That's okay. And think about the people who fill you up and make you feel lighter, and make a conscious decision to spend more time with them and to interact with them more. I get it that sometimes you can't choose your circle. Sometimes you have responsibilities. People, it could be the people that you're taking care of that are the most draining, and you can't get out of it. I would challenge that maybe you can. So question that. But assuming that you can't get out of it and you have to be in, interacting with these people who drain you, you're going to need to counteract that. You're going to need to first recognize that they drain you. And then what are you going to do at the end of, like, every time that you're with them? What are you going to do to get yourself back in a good space? Or what kind of break do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to get out of it? Like, what do you need to do to fill yourself back up? And then how can you spend time with more people that help you feel bolstered? So that is number 4. Number 5 is plan your exit strategy. You can't take a break. You can't take a vacation. You can't take a sabbatical. You can't take a gap year. You can't start thinking about your retirement. I've been talking about retirement for quite a few weeks now. It's resonated with so many people. And also, many people have misunderstood what I mean by it. All I mean is that, like, we're in this phase of life that is supposedly in the last 10 to 15 years before retirement age. And that's retirement is another conversation, but this is sort of like the last phase of our professional life, I guess, in some way. So the idea of retirement is we don't just have to continue with the life that we've designed previously, the one that we've been living for the last 10, 20, 30 years. We don't have to just keep trudging on that. We can do something differently, and it doesn't have to be huge, but it can just be different. We have the freedom to plan it. And I've had a lot of people who have said that this resonates. They wish they could, but they can't. I'm going to challenge you on that. If you need a break, if you need a vacation, if you need a sabbatical, if you want to take a gap year, it will help you tremendously to just start planning it. What will it take to start taking action to move you towards being able to do any of those things? And just the act of taking action will make you feel significantly better. You'll feel a little bit less out of control, a little less exhausted, a little less done, because you are actively participating in the direction that things are going. So, as a reminder, the 5 things that you can do if you can't take a break, take a gap year, get ready for retirement. If you can't do those things, what you can do: shrink the time, reduce one obligation, reclaim 30 minutes in your day, reevaluate your circle, and plan your exit strategy. I am sending you all of the good vibes, all of the peace, the energy, the focus, whatever it takes to pour into you to make that happen. My name is Amy Palmer. Please like, subscribe to this channel, tell your friends. We've got more coming. I hope to meet you on March 7th as we dig into these things in our Permission to Pause live workshop. I really, really want to meet as many of you as I can on that day. But spread the news. And this is your Gen X big sister signing out.